시작. 자, 나 전방 소음 들게. 좋았어. 늦네. 오케이. 이렇게 볼게. 고마워.
Alright, welcome to another stream where, again, Johnny, and then we'll talk about MADEin a little later, but for now, all of these videos will be linked plus the channel itself, so without further, let's react to, this seems to be actually big, so.
There's nothing more powerful.
And of course I have to have an ad.
Huge. This is huge. Japan has now passed regulation that could ban Kick. Now, this is in Japanese, but I just want to show you that this is an actual Japanese article, right, that's out there in the Japanese news, right? So this is the Japanese original version, right? So you guys know I have the raw version. Here's the translated version. Big shout out to Lenmar for making me aware of this. This is called strengthening online casino regulation, considering banning links to sites. So the LDP is proposing a bill to amend the countermeasures against gambling and addiction to prohibit internet business from directing users to online casino sites. This may have literally been because of the Kick nuisance streamers. Because the Kick nuisance streamers were all illegally linking out to these gambling sites. They want to make it more specific and say, we want to ban this and we want to ban this type of business. So what they're doing there would be criminal. So all of them, it would make it easier. I think they could already be locked up, but this could get them locked up already in addition to this. And this is to take serious measures against online casinos, which do drain people of their life savings. This is to prevent casinos from accessing casino sites, such as blocking. So they're going to block the sites. So you'd block. So for example, in this case, you would block Kick because Kick links to Stake, which is a gambling site, right? So that's what they're talking about in Japan. And this is very sad for Kick, because if you look at Kick here, let's look at Kick. Kick wants desperately to become a big thing in Japan. They're trying to start here. Look, joined March 2025. They're trying to become a thing in Japan, right? But they are having streamers they can't even post, because if they post them, they're going to get in trouble because those streamers were expressly streaming online gambling, right? So Kick may get hit before anyways. In addition, this article continues to talk about filtering, so restricting viewing for minors. Also, they talk about advertising, so making online advertising, informing people that online casinos are illegal to use and access in Japan. So once again, online casinos, even if they're legal overseas, they are illegal to access and use from within Japan. All of those people were accessing and using them. They were all breaking the law in Japan. And we have clear proof. It's everywhere of them every night playing on Stake, getting on there because they're their sponsors. They get a bunch of money from them. So, yeah. So we're talking about locking up people for streaming this when they're in Japan, which I think they should do. Because once again, if you come to their country, you need to follow their laws. How hard is that? If you want to do online streaming and you believe in freedom of gambling, then go somewhere where it's legal. Go to Vegas, stream from Vegas. You will never have a problem. The thing is, they don't want to do that because they want to do annoying things abroad and get away with it. That's the problem.
Jump in my new car with me.
I mean, yeah. It's the same thing when you go to someone's house. You go to someone's house, you follow the rules rules of that person's house. Alright, so now we have, and now we get to Johnny Smalley's insane crash out.
Experience the power of AI content creation.
I mean, apply same thing. Go to someone's house, you follow that person's rules. Same to a country, go to a different country, you follow the rules by that country. Not every country has the same rules as your country does. So you have to also look it up beforehand, so you don't look like a complete idiot.
So we'll first start out with some more broader news here, which is here that MSN has now picked up on the Johnny Somali story. So this is when it's going mainstream, because of course there's been a lot of smaller outlets, but when it hits MSN, and it's getting
That's kind of wild that MSN, the Microsoft News, is starting to do it. Yeah, it's a bit crazy.
really a ton of views. Late and hungover influencer Johnny Somali pleads guilty in Korean court.
Late hungover is an understatement.
There's a picture here over in Hongdae. And you've got the notes here, which are similar to the other websites. In fact, quoting from Deserto, saying Johnny Somali is an influencer noted for his loathsomeness, is the winner of a stupid prize for his abusive antics. Legal sanctions abroad.
Hey, as the saying goes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and Johnny Somali won the stupid jackpot.
He turned up late and hungover to a court date in South Korea and pleaded guilty there to obstruction of minor crimes, reports Deserto, which is reporting what I reported.
And later ran away from a little Korean girl, which was kind of funny.
Going live on the app the day before the trial, he claimed on Party, he claimed he had a deal in the works to stream his court appearance. It's time for redemption arc. He did not stream it. Nothing was streamed. He says, I'm going to try to be a better man. The trial is live tomorrow, and I will be live streaming the trial. Just hours before the start of the trial, he went live on Party and got hammered to the point of throwing up. No redemption, alas. He got a continuance, though, as one of the charges, and will return to court in a few weeks. And by the way, even after he pleads guilty, it's not over. Sentencing will be later on. For months, he's wreaked havoc across South Korea with nuisance streams that royally upset the politicians and citizens, including a member of the Korean Special Forces, of course, that's Dalgun, who KO'd the streamer in a must-see video. His real name is Ramzi Ismail, actually Ramzi Khalid Ismail. And he is a self-styled prank streamer, or aka nuisance streamer, notorious.
I would not use the word prank, because prank implies funny. This is actually dangerous for him and everyone else involved.
For bothering locals in Japan and Asian countries. Racist taunts, disruptive behavior, intends to provoke reactions have brought him much attention. Through his blatant misbehavior, trespassing, harassment, and fights have led to multiple arrests. So that's MSN. And once again, when you've got these big platforms picking it up, it is something that, shows it's getting out there to a broader audience, and this is not going away anytime soon. So let's start with the first thing.
Nor should it go away.
Johnny said that's bullshit today. And this was his comment here. He was commenting on having a paid attorney. So let's just forward over here. And
don't you usually pay out most attorneys in general?
And actually, let me just comment on this. I'll just comment on it real quick. So to comment on it, because I don't want to play it, I forget he curses and something nasty things. So essentially, with him, you've got a public defender. So Johnny is claiming that he has a paid attorney and not just a public defender, and that is absolutely not true. In Korea, you only have the option to either have a paid attorney or a public defender. You cannot have both. So you have to choose one way or another. And because of that, Johnny, when he says he has some paid attorney, he does not. And we know he has a public defender because he has to file that. Of course, we have access to the case files, so we know. So once again, Johnny lying about this is not getting us anywhere. So him saying, oh, I have a paid attorney when I don't, we've kind of debunked that. Next, and this is the big one. This is the one that we're going to have a little PowerPoint on here because this is a big problem. Johnny is following in the footsteps of other nuisance streamers, and he is going for a scam coin. So let me put this out, a cryptocurrency. He is trying to pump and dump his audience here in Korea. So I'm going to play this video. So Somali has been pumping and advertising a cryptocurrency.
Uber Eats is delivering more.
So he's just gonna add more to his illegal crimes he's already committed. Good job.
deals so you can watch.
Not that he doesn't have enough
Little
already.
And his Discord as well has been actively promoting a crypto. Let's watch this.
Do you still want me to promote Somali coin?
And by the way, I'm gonna put a little banner here. So let's put a little banner here. Do not invest in any speculative meme coins. This is highly dangerous. Yeah, there you go. So little financial disclosure there for you guys. So we're covered. We're covered.
I mean, I don't think that needs to be said, but some people it does. I agree.
No, don't
Yeah,
promote this.
yeah. Or switch.
No, don't. It's gonna be
Bro.
legal trouble. Don't do it.
No.
It's not gonna
I'm
pump
not
anyway,
saying
bro.
it. You know,
The
yo,
only
you-
one who's gonna cash out is this Yang nigga.
what I suggest is, you stream tomorrow, and I launch it meme coin named Jail Somali. It's not
So they're like trying to come up with this. They're trying to come up and market a crypto in Korea.
gonna be
What?
yeah, because let me tell you something. The jail
This
series
sounds
is a trending.
retarded.
Let me No, talk, jail-
Yeah, bro, Yang is the reason I have the phone. Yang bought me.
So this is one of his people that's like, he's obviously got an IQ of less than an octopus. And they're trying to market a crypto in Korea. So we're going to talk about that.
Streaming phone. Respect him.
Yeah, I actually recently the jail series, the jail tour, jail something, jail Haktua series, the coin went up so high. So what I'm suggesting, the jail Somali stream will be crashing. Will be crashing out. I'm telling you, jail Somali. Not. I don't want you to be nice guy. I don't care.
What is the play?
So they're trying to, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but they're trying to market a crypto. And it's actually funny. So I have a little presentation on this, of course, because of course your boy's got a PowerPoint. Your boy's always got a PowerPoint. It's very funny. They were going back and forth over the name on this. And I do think it's funny. This is in his chat. So RKI is launching a crypto. Jail. Anybody that's going to invest in this obvious rug pull is doing it for the ability to file SEC and FBI charges. Jail. Should have named it Cabbage. That's so fucking true. Like Cabbage coin, right? Come on. That would be the most powerful.
That would be the okay, yeah. If you named it Cabbage Coin, that would have been probably the best one you should have done. Because it's like cabbage, jail isn't, it's kind of like whatever. Cabbage Coin, that's missed opportunity, even though it's illegal and dangerous, but missed opportunity to name it Cabbage Coin.
Hold on. So, right, come on. That's so jail. Should have named it Cabbage. That's so fucking true. Like Cabbage coin, right? Come on. That would be the most powerful one. So clearly they are marketing and developing a cryptocurrency. Well, crypto is heavily regulated in South Korea. Surprise, surprise.
Imagine my shock.
This is a violation of 3 separate legal acts. by marketing and developing a crypto, and particularly by selling it cross-border, you are, number one, violating the Act on Protection of Virtual Asset Users. You are required to register with the Korean authorities when you are creating an asset, to disclose everybody that is involved in this, right? To make all those proper disclosures. Then you have anti-money laundering and KYC. Johnny would need to give all of his personal information, all his bank information, his interests in it, the interests of Yang Yang. They have to register this with the Securities Commission, and they have to declare this before they do anything involving that. And third, if they enter into cross-border virtual asset transactions. So this is specifically for crypto that exits South Korea. You need to get a separate registration under this last act, the Cross-Border Virtual Asset Transaction Act. So this is violating multiple acts, which could be this is like over a decade in time of violations in terms of maximum penalty. Once again, realistically, could tack on a couple of years, right? But this is serious violations that he's clearly come out here and expressed the intent to violate these acts. So once again, marketing a crypto from South Korea publicly where everybody knows he's there. And also, here's the other thing. Before you do any of this marketing of crypto in Korea, you need to pass a background check. Somali does not have a clean background.
He has the least clean background probably possible.
Never be authorized to actually market a crypto in South Korea. So this is a big thing. Once again, is another thing he could be, the prosecutor could bring up if they want to, in any of the districts, right? Where, most likely would be in the Eastern District, which is where he faces the charges for deepfakes, because he is living in the Eastern District. He's living in the general Jamshil, Songpagu area, in that area in Hank's office tell. So the Eastern District is likely where they would file that one. So we could see charges coming on this. So once again, he's publicly streaming these things. He's publicly admitting to these extra crimes, which is insane to me.
Your goals matter. With WGU, you don't.
So thank you, Johnny, for giving yourself more crimes to be accused of and filed.
Okay. So I guess we'll start with the stuff that might get us in trouble in Germany. Just real quick warning here. So Johnny at first was kind of being a relatively good streamer, but there was a distinctive point at which the night kind of took a turn, right? The night kind of took a turn, and that happened when he went to a restaurant, which is actually a really good restaurant. It's kind of a good hangover food in Korea. All Westerners like it. Almost all Westerners like it. And you're gonna be able to tell real quick, when a night goes downhill, it kind of starts like this. This is how nights go downhill.
Berto sent $10.
I think we can kind of picking up on the bars of the most important marching, the most popular marching song in World War II. That happened.
That's an interesting start. Isaac, put your hand down.
But which by the way, by itself has no political content. But certainly Johnny is just playing this because he likes music, right? Certainly he's just playing.
Johnny does not strike me as someone who enjoys music and only puts music on for controversy and, North Korea and the Germany anthem that was during World War II, not the current one.
Playing this because he likes music, right? Right? Yeah. I'm not going to show all of this or play all of this, but that's how kind of that started, and it ended with him copying his buddy Hank over here, and doing a little bit of a Roman salute. Yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, that's Hank back in the U.S. He was big into that. So the question is, who did it better? Was it Johnny or Hank? Really, was it Johnny or Hank? So that's how the night started. So you know it's going to be a hell of a night when that's kind of how the night starts. So this is Johnny's big night out. Now he starts his big night out with another man who is not Hank. I know. So
Johnny cheated.
Here they are, and the one thing that I heard from everybody who was watching him is that in the beginning of the stream last night, he was being relatively a good boy, but things went downhill.
Define relatively.
Quickly. So we'll go and play this.
What do you like better? Teach me. You Korean. Tell me the way. Maybe Korean. Somek. Yeah, Somek. Let's do it. Somek, let's go.
That is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, that's a good clip.
You know, song police hate me. Yes, I know. I'm on throwing up. These Koreans can't handle Somalis. Take the gun outside. Stop playing. Take the gun outside and stop. Take. Take the gun. So what? Statue? Oh yeah. Where is
So apparently, and this is one thing, apparently he did threaten to go back to the statue. Now, once again, it's very interesting.
Would not advise doing that, but if you want to be stupid, I'm not going to stop you.
There's no charges related to the statue. Everybody's very mad about the statue, but there's actually no charges about the statue at all.
That's actually interesting. You would think, because how sensitive that topic is, this, if you know about the statues and if you watch my reaction to Ron Mango on it, you know how sensitive that topic is. So I'm a little surprised they haven't done anything yet. Maybe that's later.
It's all other behavior. It's not just the statue. So
yeah, it's everything else, including everything else after the statue.
This is their reaction to what he did as a person, but this is not at all the crime. Like, this is not something that's been charged at all. But he's threatened on the stream. In fact, last night he said he was going to go back to the statue. He was talking about it repeatedly.
Where is the content at 6:30 in the morning? Tell me.
So he's been up. So he stayed up. Look at how high he is here. This is definitely multiple substances. So he stayed up drinking and possibly doing pills all night. So the sun is up now. It's 6:37 in the morning.
He didn't go home. Oh my God. Question. I want to ask you a question. Talk to me. What hood you been? Talk to me. Relax.
This is bad. You know, it's once again like you're harassing an elderly person, right?
Just why are you bothering an elderly person? He clearly doesn't want to be bothered and just doesn't care.
And you're blocking their way. Once again, this is another crime. It's like blocking someone from where they're going. The guy's trying to walk and trying to get around him, and he's constantly moving to block him. Right? It's really behavior. And once again, this is criminal. Like, this is a crime right here. Boom.
I'm very nice guy. I'm sorry.
That's debatable.
Sorry, I'm black. I'm very nice. You know, I just want to get chicken. I go fast. Don't call the police. All right. Let me talk. Hello, somebody call you? Me, Johnny Somali.
Somali 분 맞으세요?
Huh?
Somali.
Johnny Somali.
Somali 맞아요.
Somali.
They called it. Yeah, he knew. The cop knew right away that it was Johnny Somali. And they were probably there just like watching him and seeing what he's doing and like following him around, right?
Migo?
저기 가시는 집 언제 가세요, 집에?
And you know English?
네.
No Hanguk. No Hanguk. Only. It's okay?
So bad.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh yeah.
That's rough.
Oh, it's close? Yo, what you talking about? It's close? What time? 8? 8 is close? It's close?
She should stay closed for another hour. She should stay closed for another
I agree. I'd just say we're closed for the rest of the day.
hour just to keep that guy out of there. Oh God. Oh God. So bad.
8?
Why does he always start screaming?
Oh, no.
What is wrong with him?
We gotta go. You party? You
We are watching a man's descent into madness.
Christian?
So this is particularly disgusting. So let me explain what's going on here. He is at the local Methodist church, right? So Koreans.
Oh, he did not just. He didn't. Oh no. You're going into a church? Are you kidding me?
In case you don't know, Koreans have the highest percentage of Christians in all of Asia, right? This is at the local Methodist church. These wreaths are likely left out for funerals for people who passed away, right? So he's going and fucking around at the local church with what is probably, I need to take a better look at it, with essentially like funeral proceedings at a church. This is really fucked up, right? Really fucked up. And like, once again, I don't like to curse, and I don't normally curse, but when things are really bad, like, it's appropriate. This like actually like really fundamentally bothers me, like on a deeper, like a very deep level. There's a lot of things that bother me, but this really bothers me, like high level bothers, right? Yeah, that's what's going on here. Yeah. So let's play this. This is, you'll see.
I come to pray.
Shut up. No, you didn't. You did not come to pray. Stop lying.
How are you?
So there's see the cross there. There's the flowers, because typically.
Oh yeah, Oh no.
You'll leave those out for funerals, when people pass away.
I touch Jesus like you. No way. I know, no, I'm Jesus like you. No, me, I'm Jesus. I pray.
So he's in his face while he's trying to do this.
Let me do like you.
Calcar sent $5.
Oh, hell no. Oh, no.
Should we say amen?
Yeah.
I think that was Erica playing again. But yeah. Really bad, really disgusting behavior, really, really vile. Seriously. I mean, there's not even words. It's just really bad.
Yeah, that's really bad. Like, you don't do that in any religious places, let alone a country that has the country's most known religion. You just don't.
Somali. Johnny Somali has been unbanned, and tonight we're going to explain how. Of course, this is a legal mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney living in Asia and covering from beginning to end in deep detail the Johnny Somali criminal saga, particularly the saga in Korea, which is where our story lies. So if you have been following this saga, Johnny Somali had a pretty crazy criminal spree around Seoul last night. That would be in Asian terms on the 22nd of March. He was up all night drinking, also using pills, probably these Still Knox pills, which we've seen him with on multiple occasions. Questionable about whether he has a prescription for those, or what's going on with the
probably not
use of those pills. However, he was up all night drinking and waving airsoft rifles at the chat and making all sorts of brash statements, threats to the judge, threats to the police. He was making prank calls with his watch to the police. And throughout that night, things got crazier and crazier and crazier. More things kept happening. And he really kept challenging the police to come arrest him and challenging people to come get him until the fact he ended up half naked and, kind of arrested. Of course, he had to get arrested after he bothered construction workers, was playing loud music in convenience stores, was bothering elderly people, went into a church and desecrated it, and also just generally was an annoyance to everybody he could encounter that night, until the police finally picked him up in his boxers, dancing in the street, arrested him, and brought him to the station. Now, this is important note. A lot of people ask, how isn't he behind bars? Korea does not typically detain people unless it's a violent crime or drugs or something very, very severe. So typically you're released on your own recognizance.
Yeah, they kind of work differently.
As you'd say in the United States, you're just released to go home, stay where you're going to stay. And that's what happened with Johnny. He was brought to the station. They made the report. They got the information they need to get from him. And then they let him go back to Hanky Poo's apartment. Of course, he's staying with Hank Han Jung-yu at his apartment, who was actually not there at the time. He was somewhere else. He had to come rescue Johnny. He made a reference to Johnny as a version of George Floyd. I'm not kidding. You can go to my X and see the tweet.
Boy. Okay, let's take a look. And I'm also getting this to link it. All right, never mind.
However, eventually he ends up going home. And, we thought, okay, well, that's pretty bad. And it got a little bit worse for him because we did see that his account was suspended on party.com, which is the sole platform in which he has not been banned from. It's really the only place he's been streaming actively since he's been banned off Kick. He's been banned off YouTube, pretty much everywhere else except for this fringe site. Now, a lot of people thought this was a permanent ban. A lot of people thought this was going to last forever. Well, there was some indication, even the night of the suspension, that things were not looking really good for this sticking, as it appeared that this was actually a ban that may have been put into place to hide evidence from the Korean authorities. So the thought was, if we get this off the internet, well, then the Korean authorities won't see it. So let's do him a solid and let's nuke this off the internet. Let's remove this from the internet. The problem is for Johnny Somali is that everybody is logging his content, and everybody who is looking to track this criminal odyssey is making logs of this. So there was a multiple complete logs of his content both from other content creators as well as from people that were just making those and shipping them on over. So everyone was able to get pretty much the full saga and certainly all the details of the crimes that he committed that night. So that intent was thwarted. And what this ended up being is, rather than it being a true suspension, this actually ended up being what I will call a marketing ban. And I say
it's the same as Twitch's, where it's a vacation, basically.
That because by the time the news of this got out, and mind you, Johnny Somali News usually starts with my channel, and then within 12 to 24 hours, other channels will make information and make videos based on what I say or what videos that are taking information or synthesizing information I put out says, and then we'll make a synopsis of the scenario. And by the time they could say, hey, he's banned off this platform, which was true, he was suspended, he's already back up. He was up actually within about 18 hours, and probably wasn't even a full 24 hours, and he was unsuspended off of party.com. He was back up. And what those bans do, I liken this to the ban of Amaranth or Hassan. What these very, very short bans do is they actually drive more traffic to the site and to the creator. It actually serves to market the site and market the creator, because the news of that ban percolates and people check and people go over and direct traffic to the site. So in essence, this was not something that it appeared was intended to actually punish Johnny, but actually to aid him. And in fact, we actually have evidence that shows that if they didn't screw up the situation with the stream key, this is an internal message from Johnny Somali's Discord, which said, party staff members are looking into it. But they might need to generate a new stream key. Same as on Kick, when you get banned and unbanned, you need a new stream key. Johnny's stream key didn't change for some reason. Will be a live stream tomorrow. So they're saying he's going to be back on Monday Asia time. That may be Sunday night. Who knows? Over there in the United States, depending on where you are in the world. But saying that, hey, he would have been back even now if he was able to generate a stream key. And to me, this is not surprising. This is the exact same platform that on their social media, this is on their X account, you can see right here that they advertised streaming crimes in real time. And not only that, but beyond that, streaming the judgment of the court and saying he's going to stream the entire court event from the courthouse. Well, it was made very, very clear that that is very illegal in the Republic of Korea. You're not even allowed to have your phone on, much less to record.
I think that applies for most court places. You have to have your phone on silent. If it's found noise, they basically take it away from you.
Anything in the court that is extreme contempt of court and would be punished severely. But it's all good because content, right?
It's all good to do legal things as long as you get content out of it, I guess.
Content. So it turns out that the platform is not only actively protecting him, but knowingly and it seems maliciously undermining Korean law. And I'm all for free speech, but when it comes to breaking laws actively and knowingly, there is indeed a line. And
hey, there's a thing called free of speech, but not free of consequence. You break the law, you pay to do the consequences. That's how it goes.
I was informed, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video so well and so quickly. By the way, if you like this, smash the like button. Even though it's a premiere, even though it's shorter than my normal lives, is because I wanted to get this information out there to you guys, to everybody, and particularly to my Korean audience. Because as I posted here on X, and this is the message in Korean, if you are a resident of the Republic of Korea, whether that's a Korean citizen or someone with a long-term visa, a business visa, a student, a teacher, a digital nomad, if you have a Korean phone number, you can go to this website. I'm going to put it in the description of this video. It's also under the community tab for my channel. It's also here on X. And you can go to this here website. This is in Korean. Once again, you can play with it over here, and you can report party.com. And why would you do that? Why would you report party.com? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Number one, because they're actively subverting the law. Number two.
Okay. Yeah. So if we have any Korean people in the watching the afterwards, I'll put the link of this thing in the description. So if you're Korean and you would like to report party, yeah.
He's going to crash out more. Obviously, he's going to descend into madness because he feels like there's no consequences. At this point, it is very clear that Johnny Somali feels like, well, I can just do whatever. I can challenge the police because nothing's going to happen. They're just going to throw the cuffs on me, take me to the station, and send me back home. And we're going to track this as he goes through this process because, you know, in Korea, these things are stacking in the perception. Even if the punishment isn't immediate, the perception has wildly shifted against this individual who has brought himself back in the limelight in the absolute worst way. Until next time, guys, take care. And I will continue to keep you updated on Johnny Somali. Peace.
I know you've all had the conversation up here.
All right, so here's the big one.
Tonight.
All right. Yeah, he's always unhinged, so that's no different. So.
What we have to show you and go through in this video is the insane interaction between Ramsey and the Seoul Mapo police, as well as his translator, Hank Yu. And
okay, I'll go to writing parody lyrics. At our comfort statues insulted. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what he did, is insult the Korean culture and stuff. I mean, if you know what the statues are, you know how insulting that is to dance and also kiss it as well. So you know how. Oh. Yeah, so I mean, you insult someone's culture, don't be surprised when they take a problem with it and actually act on it.
And really how he is in over his head, far over his head with what he's got into. So without further ado, let's take it to this video of Hank and Johnny on a call with the Seoul Mapo Police Department.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could, yes. So you're Korean Australian, okay. Yeah, I mean, he could probably, it's possible that this could cause, this also has caused a bunch of streaming, not in Japan and Korea, to be skeptical. People are just, look, if you are streaming, they're just gonna start questioning you already. I hope this destroys any more nuisance streamers to where no one does this ever again. That's my hope for this.
Let's talk to these niggas. So Hank, the police want to talk to me right now?
Yes.
Can we call them right now?
So they have been looking, as some context, they've been looking for these guys. So instead of going home, they went to what's known as a short time hotel or a love hotel, which is typically used by young couples when they're seeking a place to stay for 2 or 3 hours. They're quite common in Korea or Japan. So they're actually hiding out in a love hotel in somewhere in Seoul.
Interesting. So are you from Australia or Korea? Out of curiosity. I got it. So I'm assuming by this you are Korean but are in Australia, or am I missing something? Oh, okay. Think. Okay, I see. Gotcha.
South Korea, instead of going home to Hank's house, which is where they've been staying. This is Hank over here in the hat, in case you don't know. Johnny has been staying with him for the past couple months. His address is well known. The police know it. It's well known. So they decided to hide out instead of going home.
Yes. Call him right now. Let's put on speaker. Yo, on content. Apparently, Hank called the police station, and the police want to talk right now.
So it's very funny. Johnny is trying to make it here sound like this is a result of Hank calling the police, and this is some sort of thing where Hank told on them or told on the other streamers. By other streamers, I do mean the other Kick streamers that are in Korea currently. Specifically, the ones involved in this incident were really slightly homeless. The streamer slightly homeless and Nana. They are really the subjects here that were apparently, it seems on the video, stalked by Johnny Somali around Hongdae. I'm going to play this.
That's the one? Oh my God, the Koreans. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. The Koreans.
So he stalks these people and finds them at a hookah bar.
They be helping me so much.
So he does touch slightly homeless. So people are saying, oh, he didn't touch anybody. He does touch him. Doesn't punch him, but he does touch him.
Nana, what's up? Somali. Nana, Somali.
So immediately they want nothing to do with this guy, right? Obviously.
I mean, do you blame them?
Somali.
Go away.
Why you acting like you don't know me? What's up, chat? Nana, high five. High five. Don't listen to this guy. He don't know anything. High five.
Let's see if I can...
Nana, I'm streamer too. Huh? Scary? Why? Because black cool? Black skin? Scary?
Go away.
High five.
So they're telling him to go away, and I'm going to fast forward a little bit here because there's a little bit of he just annoys him for a while. And then I think around here...
Why are you putting the leg down like that?
So...
Homeless. You changed outfits and everything on me.
So I think here there's an issue.
Let's get some shots. What if I get a surrounded shots? Let's just chill.
Go away.
Why are you scared like that?
Oh, don't touch me, bro.
Really?
Okay, so that's the second time he does touch him and say, don't touch me, bro.
Because Suspenders told you?
Go away, bro.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I'm not on your streaming website. I'm on a different streaming website. What are you scared of? You don't gotta show me on camera. Point the camera to you, homeless.
I'm pretty sure that'd still get you banned regardless. I'm pretty sure there's a law that if he's even on stream, you could get your account nuked.
Point the camera to you, homeless. I'm more famous than you.
So hold on. Let me fast forward this here.
It looks nice. I mean, from what I've seen, it's a very... I mean, people said they just accidentally leave stuff on buses and they come back later and it's still there. It's mostly not really crime-rated country.
I can go anywhere I want. What do you mean?
Here we go.
I got money too. What's your problem? No, don't listen to this. This don't know nothing. Shout out party.com. Homeless, what are you doing, bro?
Waiting for it.
Why are you scared, bro?
So right there's a bottle that drops. So he drops a bottle, breaks a bottle of soju.
Relax.
You just broke a drink, bro.
Who cares? Fuck that shit.
So who cares? So this is, I'm talking about elements of obstruction. So you're in there, you're
Obstruction of a business right there.
bothering current paying customers. You break a bottle of soju. You go over to the bar, and I'm going to say this later, and literally the bartender calls him out for breaking the bottle, right? And then homeless and Nana proceed to leave the venue. So from the perspective of the venue, from the perspective of the business, right? The business has a broken bottle. You're harassing the customers. He didn't pay for anything. He does ask for a drink, but I'm not sure whether he even gets the drink or not because he runs out and chases after them. So he actually runs off the customers. So from the perspective of the business, and you'll see here, homeless leaves with Nana. They leave, right? So scaring off customers is quintessential obstruction of business.
Where you going, homeless? Where you going?
Like, so scaring off customers, filming with them without their consent, that is definitely obstruction of business. So that business can file. Once again, that's pretty clear. That's like not at all a problem. That's like slam dunk case, right? So he's trying to make it sound
easy.
Like Hank reported them and they're going to be in trouble. But as we're going to see in the video, it is anything but that.
So we're gonna put it on speaker, right, Hank? Cops didn't call you? No, they didn't call me. They want to talk. Who's this, Mapo?
네, 그 방금 그 쟈니 소말리 친구랑 전화한 친구인데요. 그 쟈니랑 통화하고 싶다고 해서 지금 쟈니 옆에 있거든요.
조니 소말리랑 지금 어떤 연락을 받으신 거예요?
누가 그 쟈니가
As you can see, you know, Hank had that number on speed dial because Hank, in case you guys don't know the history of Hank, Hank very often calls the police and he's kind of like Johnny's police pager. So Johnny will just tell Hank to call the police and he'll call the police right away. So
he's also Johnny's translator because he doesn't know Hangul.
You know, called them up. So Hank had their information already for the Mapo police station and called them there. And Hank is claiming that Johnny did something and there was someone said Johnny did something and filed a false report. So they're trying to claim already, Hank is trying to claim that what they filed was a false report.
뭐를 했다고 하면서 거짓으로 신고를 했어요.
잠시만요.
네.
These are the police?
Yeah, that's the police.
They speak English or only Korean?
English.
They speak English?
No, wait. I don't know.
You don't know? So when you called the station, tell them what
Hank
happened.
doesn't know much.
Tell them the same story. I don't know.
By the way, that's a PRC flag. It's very interesting. Hank, who got kicked out of America, you know, now is trying to flee Korea at some point for China. So he has a lot of weird Chinese paraphernalia around.
Interesting country to sim for is China.
Tell them the information. You called the station and what they say.
I called the station. Said that they were illegally streaming in 네? 네?
선생님 혹시 한국 분이신가요?
저 한국 사람입니다.
지금 뭐 누가 신고했다는 얘기를 듣고 지금 그것 때문에 전화를 하셨다는 말씀이시죠?
네. 그리고 그 신고한 사람이 불법적으로
So Hank is trying to be clear. Hank is trying to shift the blame by saying they this is golden. Hank is trying to say that, you know, he's trying to shift the blame and saying what they did was illegal. They were illegally streaming in the police station. And it is going to be golden how Hank, who immediately tries to snitch on them, instead of coming up with some defense for himself or defense for Johnny, immediately tries to put it on them, how the police turn it around on him quickly.
그 파출소 안에서 그 지구대 안에서 스트리밍을 하고 막 그랬어요.
그 사람이 지구대 안에서 스트리밍을 했다고요?
네. 경찰관들 얼굴도 찍고 막 그랬어요.
지구대 안에서요? 그
네.
영상 혹시 가지고 계세요?
그 영상을 그 다른 사람이 저한테 보내줬는데 그걸로 제가 한번 보고 나중에 보내줄게요.
그거는 뭐 지구대 안에서 스트리밍한 거.
So the police turn it around on him and they say, oh, they were streaming inside the station because that's not exactly a crime. It's lovely. So Hank.
Oh my goodness. Talk about it's like, oh, by the way, that's not actually a crime.
Who, you know, thinks he's number one lawyer here, number one prosecutor, you know, turns around and even the police are like, yeah, we're not really concerned about that right now. And
South. Yeah. I mean, China isn't the country you want to be simping for. I mean, it's literally called the China Communist Party for a reason.
And we're pretty sure that's not a crime. That's not exactly a crime. You know, what even doing that, even you trying to tattletale is not going to flip this around. It's very hilarious how Hank tries to lawyer things and it fails dramatically.
네.
어떤 게 정확히 확인하고 싶으신 거예요?
누가 얘 상대로 거짓으로 신고를 했는데 그 거짓으로 신고를 한 게 무슨 내용인지 접수가 됐는지 그거를 좀 알고자 합니다.
일단은 그 신고자는
What are they saying, Hank?
일단은
네.
지금 말씀하시는 신고자는
네.
본인이 그냥 길에서 방송하고 있는데
네.
I don't even know what they're saying.
이런 진술이었거든요.
네.
So they're talking about probably Nana, who probably filed the report, and she's also a live streamer, and saying they made a statement someone was following them, which he was. That's factual, right? So, and
I mean that he was stalking them.
we have a plethora of evidence, which you can see from all the other videos. You can catch those on my X account or on my other YouTube videos, particularly my YouTube video that should come out in the same day as this video. You can check that out for a lot of video involving this. But we have clear proof this was actually happening.
그래서 그걸로 저희가 일단 사건 접수는 했고요. 나중에 경찰서에서 연락이 가면
네.
경찰 출석해서 본인이 뭐 억울한 부분이나 이런 거 진술하.
So the police just want him to show up. But remember, Johnny is hiding in a love hotel with Hank instead of going to the police station. The rational thing to do would be, hey, go and explain your side. If you really have such a strong case, if you believe it's a false report, go to the police station. Explain your side. Why are you in a love hotel hiding right now? It's really weird.
하시면 될 것 같아요.
근데 쫓아간 것만으로는 불법이 아니잖아요.
So now Hank is trying to lawyer this and saying it's not illegal just to follow them. He's gonna find out real quick.
그러니까 그거를
네.
아니 뭐 충분히 그것도 뭐 소지가 있죠.
So they said regarding that, we have plenty of evidence and sufficient grounds. So let me translate this. What this means, and I've talked about the Korean process here, the criminal processes, they have enough to give this to prosecutors already. They have already seen enough evidence. They've seen enough video. They've got enough statements that they can already hand this to prosecutors. This is a lock. This charge is a lock on Johnny. Johnny is screwed. So they don't need to really get his report.
So basically, he's gone. He's done.
He can come in and stay his side, but they're trying to say, hey, it's not illegal. We didn't do anything illegal. And the cops are saying, no, actually you did. And we have enough proof already. So this is where I think Hank realizes, oh, this is actually serious and they got us. In a normal situation, the police wouldn't speak like this. But because Johnny Somali has been repeatedly committing these crimes and because everybody is filming them, right? It's very clear what happened here. So they're kind of not taking any BS from him. They're not believing this twist that Hank tries to make. So twice Hank tries to quote unquote lawyer things and fails dramatically. Let's continue.
그러니까 그거는 출석하셔가지고
죄명이 뭐예요?
불안감 조성으로 했어요. 불안감 조성으로.
So causing anxiety is under the Minor Crimes Act, right? So that's one that's under the Minor Crimes Act. He is, of course, already charged with 2 counts of the Minor Crimes Act. And a lot of people will laugh at the Minor Crimes Act. It's essentially a misdemeanor. It's punishable by a fine and under a year in detention, right? That's what a definition of a misdemeanor is. However, it is a crime. And the more of these things that are tacked onto your record, the more it looks like you're a deeper convicted criminal who's on a criminal spree about the city. Also, it pushes you closer to detention. So if they're seeing that you are going on this criminal spree and running around Seoul, you're highly likely to be detained, right? You're going towards this pattern of you're going to keep doing this, and the police may need to detain you for the good of, the city, the country, to put you away because you continue to do these things. And even though Johnny might think they're petty and laugh at them and say, oh, it's just a small crime, it's not. And what it does is it adds to his record, which includes 2 crimes, obstruction of business, which do carry jail time. So Johnny could very well, because of these piled up charges, see jail time. The other thing they're saying here is, because they already have proof to send it to prosecutors, is they can merge this into his active case, his case which is already before the court. Now, that's very rare, but because they already have this proof, because this is a slam dunk, this may be something that is shoved into his case. And imagine the judge and prosecutor and how bad this is going to look when you get all of these things slammed into the current case. It's going to look very, very bad for Johnny, and this is going to make the judge consider very strong sanctions on him for the ones that carry jail time. Let's continue.
불안감 조성으로요? 근데 얘가 걔를 육체적으로 건들지도 않았고.
So Hank is trying to argue that he didn't touch her, but that's, for example, he's arguing like assault or battery. It's not really, they're not needing to do that under Section 19 of the Minor Crimes Act, following, harassing somebody, stalking them like that on the streets. That can be under Section 19 of that act. So, there you go.
그냥
그러니까 그거를 지금 저희한테 따지실 거는 아니고.
And they're kind of telling Hank, shut up. Come on, you can't argue with us about that now. We tried to verify the facts, but we couldn't find them. So Johnny ran away. So they're getting frustrated that, essentially Hank is trying to lawyer this, and Johnny is essentially running away and not coming in.
저희가 확인을 하려고 했는데 뭐 저희를 만나지를 못했잖아요. 저희도 계속 찾아다녔는데.
네.
그래서 확인이 안 되니까 일단 피해자 진술 가지고 저희는.
So they've already filed the case based on the
Maybe if he didn't run away, he could have avoided the case being filed. But since he ran away.
Victim statement. See, Johnny screwed himself by failing to come in, by failing to answer, by failing to go to police, even though they're looking for him, even though they know where they live. By failing to do that, they just filed it based on the victim statement. Johnny could have come in and given his side, and maybe not, they would have filed it. They probably still would have, but he could have had some sort of ability to speak to.
He could have had an argument to maybe avoid it getting filed. Not that it would have anyway.
Police, but based on his own actions of running away, of hiding, of jumping into a love hotel with Hank, this is where it get charged. And once again, it's another one that's on his record.
이것만으로 처벌되는 게 아니기 때문에 추후에 조사하라고 연락이 가면 출석하셔가지고 본인은 그런 적 없다고 본인의 주장을 하시면 돼요.
근데 증거 없으면 기각시키면 안 되는 거 아니에요?
우리가 사건 접수했다고 무조건 처벌되는 게 아니라.
So what Hank is trying to say, if there's no evidence, there is ample evidence. There's so much evidence of this.
There's a lot of evidence on this one.
Ridiculous. We've showed that in multiple angles of him stalking and following and chasing them, even after they call him a stalker, even they say, go away, get out of here, we don't want you here. There is clear and lengthy proof of Johnny following them from multiple angles. So that's not going to be hard at all. So Hank trying to say there's no evidence, that's not going to work.
네.
조사 받을 때
Why he not speaking
따질
English?
거고,
네.
그 행위에 대한 걸 다 따질 거니까 그때 본인이 소말리 본인이
네.
나는 억울하다 이런 적 없다고 소명하시고 그거에 대해서 증거를 못 찾으면.
Can I talk to him? What is he saying? Tell me.
이해하시면 돼요.
알겠습니다.
What is he saying?
네, 되셨죠?
Can I say one more thing then?
잠깐만요. Johnny가 무슨 말하고 싶대요. They're trying to like investigate you for causing anxiety.
Prepare for the most insane part. I'm going to rewind this.
Boy.
Prepare for the most insane and most unhinged part of this. Also, language warning.
Investigate you for causing anxiety.
Shut the up, you nigga. I hung up on that.
Johnny Somali, ladies and gentlemen, and his only words for the Seoul Mapo police. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys think this is going to be good for his case? Do you guys think this is going to end well for him?
Not particularly, no.
I'm interested to see how this goes for Johnny Somali, aka Ramsey Khalid Ismail. But in the immortal words of Dodgeball, bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out.
All right. Okay. One more, and then the next topic. Yeah, let's see if that goes well.
World tools teach you how to be.
All right, so I want to talk about something that I'm going to talk about generally. I have answered this question before, but I want to answer it again because I don't really respond to specific glazers of Johnny Somali. That is, people want to kiss his ass, etc. There is a weird cadre of people on the internet that love Johnny Somali, or they want to try to hurt him. They also want him to keep doing these sort of things around the world. They're really promoting Johnny. So, and there are a small cadre, and there've been a couple of them that have come out to the woodwork because they intend to essentially they want to gain their little internet clout off of Johnny. And some of them try to frame this as, oh, this is a freedom of speech thing. Now, I have touched on this before, and I'm going to...
Freedom of speech does not mean free of consequence.
say it again, but I want to bring up some other evidence. Obviously, I've talked about, people who try to argue that Johnny is freedom of speech. There's a lot of ways to debunk this. The first and foremost is you're not in America, right? So if you want to...
Yeah, American laws is not every law. It's just like in someone's house. You go into another country, you play by their rules. You should also read their rules before you enter the country. That's my advice.
To do an advocacy for this or whatever, right, and you're an American, then the only place you can really do that is America. If you're outside of America, you're subject to the laws of another country. It's simple as that. And the laws of other countries are different, and you have to accept that. That's something
each country has its own laws.
That you are not going to change, and you have no power to change as a non-citizen. So that as an argument, which by the way is ridiculous and not the point at all, is not going to happen. Beyond that, so that's okay, it's a different country. You can't vote. You have no power there. Beyond that, and I've talked about this a lot, freedom to speak is not freedom to do crimes. It's also not freedom to bother other people, lie about other people, threaten other people, trespass on their property, break stuff, cause a disturbance, scare off business, make threats of assault, make threats of assault, right? Those are things he's done. And that is not freedom of speech. That's actually criminal behavior. So freedom of speech not equal to criminal behavior. But beyond that, the funniest thing is for all those that are trying to essentially glaze Johnny right now and say other stuff and talk about how he's this freedom of speech person, he actually is the biggest anti-speech person probably out there. Since the very beginning of this, he's been using language like, let's censor these people, let's crack down, let's strike these people. Since the beginning, he was trying to strike Atozi, Decoy Voice, and Oompa from the beginning of this. Look at the dates on that. That's even as of last year. This literally, guys, this day last year. And he hasn't given it up. He's tried to do that for the last year.
Yes, he clearly is not freedom of speech, and that the film companies come to military. Yeah. When you go to a different country, regardless of what you are, you have to abide by the rules of that country. And even if you're big, you still have to do that.
Here.
So Johnny, you gonna copyright me? Probably not, since I'm small.
Even just the other day, he tried to copyright strike a YouTube video, right? So he does not believe in this at all. So anybody who wants to point out, this is some freedom of speech advocacy, like literally
clearly not
trying to strike your critics, and not only that, trying to defame them, trying to attack them, trying to do all sorts of nasty shit to them. That's not freedom of speech. That's actually criminal behavior. So you're engaging in what is essentially false copyright strikes, right? You're engaging in false copyright strikes against people, right? Maliciously, vexatiously, you might say. And then you're also attacking all of them, going for them. So that's all, once again, not freedom of speech. So anybody who says that just doesn't even pay attention to the facts that are existing, right? Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom to commit crimes, right?
Exactly what I've been saying. You can do it, but you're gonna get the consequences of your actions afterwards.
Now, this is another one, and this is one where Johnny Somali and Ice Poseidon have said the same talking point. So it's kind of like, and it's not just Ice Poseidon, it's a lot of the nuisance streamers, right? They've said the same thing. So this is something that a lot of the nuisance streamers have in common, including Johnny. They always make this comment, and it's something like, well, what we're doing, it's not illegal anywhere, or it's not illegal in the United States, or it's not like this isn't a crime, or these aren't really crimes. Well, I want to point out a couple things like that kind of debunk this point of nothing he is doing is illegal, right? Well, first of all, you wouldn't be facing charges if it wasn't illegal. So, you wouldn't be in court if there was no law. So how about that? And not just is it not illegal anywhere, if you look at the countries in East Asia, almost all of these countries have the same laws as South Korea, like very similar type of law in, like, let's say South Korea and Japan. They both have obstruction of business, right?
And he's both been caught in those two countries, so it's not a shock they both have similar laws.
That's what he's charged with. And in many of the countries in East Asia, you would get charged with an even more strict law. So he's probably getting off with like the lightest version of this. So to say there's no other country that has the same laws is like very much inaccurate. It's extremely inaccurate. And then even if you brought this to the United States, which I'll point out right here, you've got all these laws that would be broken by this behavior, right? And not just.
And the thing is, he would not do it in America, since he know what Americans would do to him if he did it.
One incident. We're talking about all the things he's done, everything he's done, right? Trespassing multiple times, multiple places, right? Disorderly conduct, pretty much on a regular. Harassment, electronic harassment, including doxing, including threatening people, including making deepfakes, right? Which in some places is now a crime, right? California has really upped their electronic harassment laws, and other states are kind of following along that line. So, I mean, there are places where this is extremely illegal in the US, right? You've got stalking, you've got cyber stalking. A lot of the stuff they're doing online, cyber stalking. You've got assault and sexual assault. Now, remember, guys, what assault is. Assault is not, there's a difference between assault and battery. Battery actually involves touching somebody, but assault, you don't need to touch somebody for it to be assault. So assault can happen when you are threatening somebody. So the case that comes up that's the most clear was when he yelled to Moxie, the streamer Moxie, the blonde girl with the glasses, right? When he yelled, I'm gonna have a group of guys. So threatening to imminently assault or have other people do it on his behalf, right? That is absolutely that, right?
Yeah.
There are criminal threats, which can go along those lines too. There's contempt of court.
I mean, the thing is, most of these IRL streamers are American because they know if they do it in America, especially the down south one in the south, they get stopped immediately.
Court. If you treated a U.S. court the same way you did a South Korean court, you would be in for some trouble. If a judge heard that he was threatening to stream it, or that they did stream it, or they recorded anything, certainly they would hold them in contempt and issue a bond, right? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? For undermining a court in the United States? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Judges do not like undermining their authority in the U.S. Absolutely not. They don't around with contempt of court. Blackmail by threatening people, they either do X or he's going to do Y. Civil claims. So this is not criminal. This is civil, but he definitely can be hit with invasion of privacy, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and tortious interference. So all of those things could get hit with. So there's a lot of stuff there. And that's U.S. law. So those are some of the random arguments. Once again, most of the arguments that the Somali defenders have are relatively incoherent or they don't hold up. But I just wanted to debunk those again, and I don't need to mention them individually because they're all kind of nothing people and nothing burgers. But just in general concepts, I will debunk a concept, and those concepts are pretty much all BS.
Premier Protein is my secret weapon.
Yeah. All right, so okay, one more thing before is this. So if you've been watching the other videos I've made outside of Johnny, I cover this Korean group that okay, so here's this. They are where Gan, who is right here, who's the CEO of essaying her, and then they released her, refused to address anything, kept silent, and also inappropriate styling of Nagomi, which is right here. Yeah. So it is out of concern that we either want to address. I mean, if you have, they have proof of innocence, then show it. So if you have proof, show it. We just want them to be safe. That's all. And yeah, we just want it. Okay, so I'm gonna link this in the description. Under the other ones. Right. Yeah, so that's gonna be the end of the stream today. And unless something happens between tomorrow, Saturday, and Monday, I will see y'all later.
Welcome to the Blizzard Arena.
And the quest for a champion begins today.
The anticipation has been building, and it is finally time. We are live.
Are you
That is a really.
Can you get over the roof there?
Oh my!
Oh my! What a play! What a grab!
Another jump here off the high ground. Super goes forward, but gets stuck up. The EMP comes in, and ding! He rains down hell from above.
Here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one.
Tuno's down again. That heralds disaster generally for the Fusion, and Carpe wasn't far behind. Prophet! He's killed 4 players now on his own.
From Vancouver, locks him in the sound barrier. Sound.
That's a huge
bomb coming in from John. Oh my God! He does it again.
Flooded down moving onto the Widowmaker, taking the clutch into his own hands. The headshot after headshot after headshot.
Okay, I like this for the Gladiators. We're gonna try and circle around. I'm gonna call this the merry-go-round because it makes me laugh.
Makes me happy, and Sean Paul switches to the Widowmaker at just the right time. Oh! The Gravy!
best jersey in the world.
Oh my word!
I mean, you could have told me that you spoke English, honestly.
The fans never thought they'd see this day. It took 43 matches. Feels like a really emotional moment here.
All right, see ya.